Gotcha. Ah, that's better.
ProtectYourBubble.com, proud sponsors of Swipe on Sky News.
You're watching Swipe, coming up on the show this week. A video games exclusive. We go behind the scenes at some of Britain's biggest blockbuster games makers, bringing Arkham Knight to life, how designers on the latest Batman title perfect the characters, and the best games to buy now and to look forward to. Check out our reviewers' take on the summer's hottest releases. Have you ever wondered how big budget video games are actually made? Well, this week we decided to find out. We've been given access to two major studios. This is Rocksteady in London, where they make the hugely successful Batman Arkham trilogy. More on that in just a moment. But first, Stu has been to TT Games to meet the team behind the much-loved Lego series.
Making a big budget video game takes a lot of work, although it might look like play. The people at TT Games have a dedication to Lego. Each digital brick or piece you see in these games has to work in the real world. This team has given the Lego treatment to films like Star Wars and Indiana Jones. Now it's Jurassic Park's turn.
We'd take the film footage of the vehicle, we'd then use the block-out model and build it out of Lego using our extensive library. So we've got, 3,000 parts to choose from, trying to get the essence of the vehicle, of course, using the T-Rex as reference.
And it's not just vehicles.
The character John Hammond walks with a limp throughout the first film and has a cane. One of the animators decided that for his idol, instead of him just standing around leaning on his cane, he'd actually do almost a little bit of a show tap dance. It's things like that that we can play on. You can almost flip the character on its head with what they're supposed to be like and what they're actually like in a Lego game.
Quirky humour is a big part of this series' identity. The jokes are partly inspired by the films on which they're based and partly the work of the writers.
It's okay! They won't eat you if you're a vegetarian!
One of the things you'll notice in the game is that no one dies, in the film obviously, quite a high body count, but in our version they all somehow survive. So yeah, we're always incredibly conscious that these are played by families and children.
Over at Rocksteady Studios, it's launch week for their latest game, Arkham Knight. Problems with the PC version of the game aside, the team is hoping the third title in its Batman trilogy can match the success of the first two. Like the Lego games, this franchise also has a unique identity. A huge part of that is the sound, like this music which players can hear in what's called Predator mode when Batman is stalking the bad guys.
We'll add more layers of intensity to this music. So we've added a synth line there.
Yeah.
There's percussion there and more synths. Choir.
Oh wow, it's really building it up, isn't it?
And then the brass. And more percussion. And then of course if you go and hide, we'll come smoothly back to the beginning.
Feels slightly calmer.
Yeah, and then at that point branch somewhere else.
The voice actors add another dimension.
The only people left on the streets are the sort that enjoy the chaos. Scum, criminals, and worse.
Do you really think Scarecrow's crazy enough to...
Breaking Bad's Jonathan Banks joins the cast as Commissioner Gordon.
Alfred.
And Kevin Conroy once again voices the Dark Knight.
This part of the trilogy is a much more psychological challenge for Batman. He's being ripped apart, and he's fighting for his identity. For me as an actor, it was a blast to get to flex those muscles.
Arkham Knight's a huge game. It's really the epic conclusion of everything that we've learned from Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, all of those learnings, 8.5 years of learnings, 3.5 years of development, building this epic conclusion to the Arkham story.
Another important element of making the Batman Arkham series is motion capture, which they do right here on site at Rocksteady. Gemma's been finding out more about that and has even put on a superhero suit. Kind of.
Okay, that certainly feels snug. Are these motion capture suits meant to be this tight?
They are actually. So the markers that you can see dotted around your body get picked up by the 44 cameras in this room, of which gets fed through a supercomputer and then out onto a skeleton that we can see live on the screen.
Oh, fantastic.
Pretty cool, right?
Copying my every move. So these suits are what the models wear when you're designing how the characters are going to move in the game?
Yeah, that's right. So we have the internal animators that come in, suit up, and then we direct them for a number of scenes.
So staff that work here can come and pose as Riddler?
Yeah, that's right. Riddler, Penguin, Harley, you name it.
And what kind of direction do you have to give them?
It could be anything from, like, it could be a choreographed fight scene, or it could be something as mundane as drinking from a glass, or we've got a whole bunch of weapons we can use, so
yeah,
pretty much anything.
How many people can you fit in a fight scene at once?
We can capture 4 people at the same time in this room. It's pretty impressive for a small little room that we got.
And how long would a shoot like that go on for?
Shoots are normally about half a day, and we've done about 300 shoots for Arkham Knight alone.
300 shoots for the one game?
That's right, yeah.
What character are you turning me into
Today,
right now then?
we are turning you into the Bats.
Aha!
Check it out.
That's amazing. Do I look realistic? I mean...
Well, you definitely look realistic, but I don't know if you cut the part.
I mean,
maybe
does my walk
the walk
cut
needs
it?
to be a bit more with purpose. Maybe just
Okay.
hold your breath.
Okay, hold my breath.
Head up right, arms down. Just pretend you've got loads of muscles everywhere, just pounding along in each step.
Bit more purposeful.
Bit more purpose.
I suppose it shows you can turn pretty much anyone into Batman.
It does, yeah. I mean, even someone as small frame as yourself onto such a large man like the Bats.
Okay, so how else would you direct me?
So there's a lot of
in my new
combat
role?
with Batman, obviously. So maybe we should try one of your best punches, maybe?
Hit you?
Hit me right here.
Really?
Yeah?
Okay. Much more comfortable. So if you didn't already, you now know a heck of a lot about Batman Arkham Knight and Lego Jurassic World. But how do they compare to some of the big titles also released this summer? Here's Holly.
So the Arkham Knight is the third in Rocksteady's Arkham series of games, and it is it's just a wonderful open world. It's full of detail, all handcrafted. Gotham looks absolutely beautiful in the night and kind of shimmering in the rain. Of course, there's the classic combat system that they started in Asylum and they've really perfected it. There are multiple ways you can take down enemies, so many gadgets that you can use. So they finally introduced the Batmobile in this game, and there are 2 different modes of it. There's the fast racing mode and a kind of tank mode, and it can feel a little bit un-Batman-like using the tank mode and kind of blasting your way through. That can be a little bit fiddly having to use that in a kind of stealth mode that they have. However, it is a lot of fun, and overall it is a crowning jewel in the Arkham series, which is probably one of the best superhero video game series out there. Lego Jurassic World from TT Games is the usual puzzle, platforming, adventure format that we've come to expect from Lego games. It may not be the best Lego game out there, but it is fun and it's very fast paced. There are 5 stages fitted into the 4 movies, and they're full of charm as with any other Lego game. There are over 100 playable characters, so fans of the movies will really love seeing their favourite characters brought to life in the kind of Lego fashion. The overworld and the fast travel are a bit messy, they're not great. However, fans of the series, fans of the movies will love seeing the kind of usual slapstick comic style of the Lego games brought to the Jurassic Park series. So Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain by Kojima Productions is promising to be a new take on the open world genre. It's only in the preview stage at the moment, nobody's played the full game yet, it's out in September. Although it doesn't seem like a huge world at first, it's packed with such detail and you can interact with almost anything. It seems to be a lot to the gameplay. Also this time around, the AI has been enormously improved. They're very unpredictable, which means that staying out of sight becomes a real task. However, in this game, unlike the previous Metal Gear Solid games, getting into combat isn't seen as much of a last resort. Although the focus is very much on being stealthy and being silent, it's not seen as something that's bad this time. It's something that's part of the game rather than, you know, you failed that mission. Also, with the added addition of the mother base and companions, there seems to be a huge variety to the gameplay. So in the preview, what we've seen so far, there seems to be that Kojima is bringing all of his promises and more to this game, so it's definitely one to look out for.
Well, that's it. Check out Sky News for iPad and mobile for some bonus features from this week's show. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Gotcha. Ah, that's better.
ProtectYourBubble.com, proud sponsors of Swipe on Sky News.